The dry season in Africa doesn't just take away water. It takes away mercy. Moonlight lays across the dust like spilled silver. Every tree looks dead. Every shadow looks hungry. At the edge of a shrinking watering hole, the animals crowd together. Zebras, wildebeest, buffalo, pushing shoulder to shoulder. Not because they're friends, because this is the last water for miles. And tonight, something is wrong. A young zebra staggers forward. Its legs shake like it can't hold its own weight. Its eyes look cloudy. Its breathing is loud. Then, behind it, two lions rise from the grass like ghosts. No roar, no warning, just silence, and the sudden sprint of death. The zebra bolts. The herd explodes into panic. Hooves smash the earth like drums. Dust flies so thick it hides the stars. But the zebra is sick. It slips. It hits the dirt hard. And in a single moment, the lions are on it. The zebra screams, high and sharp, like metal tearing. Then, a gunshot cracks through the night. Not from rangers. Not from tourists. From the bushes. The lions freeze. The animals scatter. And out of the darkness, three men step forward, faces covered, rifles raised. One of them laughs. And then he says something that makes your stomach drop. Leave the lion. We came for the other prize. Because this wasn't just a hunt. It was a crime scene being set up, right in the middle of nature's last watering hole. And as the dry season tightens its grip, one question hangs in the air. Who will run out first, water or time? Before we dive in, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. If you enjoy true crime stories like this, be sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share it with someone who'd love it too. To understand how it reached that gunshot in the dark, we have to go back. Weeks earlier, the land looked normal from far away. The sky was bright. The acacia trees stood tall. The grass still held some green. But closer to the ground, cracks were forming. The soil began to split like broken pottery. Small rivers shrank into thin, muddy lines. Then those lines broke apart into puddles. Then the puddles disappeared. And when the water leaves Africa, it creates something worse than hunger. It creates desperation. Not just for animals. For humans too. This story takes place near a protected wildlife area. A place tourists dream about. A place filled with lions, elephants, and rare animals people will pay anything to see. But along the edges of this protected land, there are villages. And in the dry season, those villages suffer first. Crops fail. Wells dry. Jobs vanish. And that's when the dry season economy begins. It's not written on signs. It doesn't show up on maps. But everyone knows it's there. The illegal economy of the bush. At night, men whisper names like they're speaking about ghosts, ivory, horn, skin, teeth, meat. And when the dry season gets worse, those whispers become plans. We meet two groups in this story. The first group, the animals who depend on one last watering hole, one muddy pool that refuses to die. And the second group, a small team of wildlife rangers who are outnumbered, outgunned, and running out of fuel. The lead ranger is a man named Dawson. He's not a superhero. He's tired. Dust sits in his eyebrows. His boots are cracked. But he has something stronger than fear. He has memory. Because Dawson has seen what poaching does. He's seen elephants with faces cut off. He's seen rhinos left bleeding, still alive, with their horns hacked away. And he's seen lions caught in wire traps, slowly dying with no sound. So when the dry season begins, Dawson knows something most people don't. Animals don't just travel to water. Criminals do too. Because the dry season doesn't spread animals out. It concentrates them. Every creature must come to the same place. Which means every poacher knows exactly where to wait. That watering hole becomes a natural trap. And the criminals love traps. Now, the rangers have one main tool: patrol. Every day, they drive the boundaries. They check for tracks. They look for broken fences. But this year is different. Because the dry season came early. And the animals arrived at the watering hole sooner than expected. First, it was antelope. Then zebra. Then buffalo. Then elephants. And with the elephants came the risk. Because to poachers, elephants aren't animals. They're walking money. One afternoon, Dawson finds something near a dirt road leading to the watering hole. It's small, almost invisible. A thin metal wire, shaped into a loop. A snare trap. And it's not old. It's fresh. Dawson calls his team over. They stare at it like it's a snake. Because this isn't someone hunting for meat. This is someone preparing. The trap is positioned in a narrow path, the same path animals use when walking toward the water. The trap will tighten around a leg, and the animal will panic. It will run. It will bleed, and then it will collapse. That's the point. It doesn't matter if the animal suffers. The only thing that matters is the prize left behind. Dawson orders the trap removed, but he doesn't celebrate, because the snare isn't the crime. It's the warning. That night, as the sun melts into the horizon, the watering hole becomes crowded. Hyenas pace the edges like thieves. Vultures gather in trees like they're already waiting for a funeral. And in the tall grass, a lioness watches everything. Her ribs show. Her cubs wait behind her. She isn't hunting for sport. She's hunting because the land has turned empty. Then Dawson spots something with binoculars, far beyond the tree line. A flicker, like a reflection. Metal. A vehicle. Not a ranger truck. Not a tourist jeep. A plain pickup, sitting still, watching the watering hole from a distance. Dawson's stomach tightens. Because no normal person parks there during dry season nights. Only people with one goal. To steal life. Dawson tells the team, "We don't rush. We watch." They stay hidden. Minutes pass. Then the pickup moves, slowly, carefully, like it's scared of making noise. And then, just as the sun fully disappears, two figures step out. They carry something long. Something heavy. Dawson zooms in, and he sees the shape. A rifle. The Rangers exchange looks. They're about to move in when a new sound stops them. A deep, rumbling vibration. Not a gun, not an engine, but footsteps. Heavy ones. An elephant herd is arriving. A mother leads, ears wide, cautious. Behind her are two younger elephants. And one large bull. His tusks are bright, long, and thick. The kind that makes criminals forget their own names. Dawson whispers into the radio, "They're here for ivory." The poachers don't shoot yet. They wait. Because poachers know something rangers hate admitting. In the dry season, animals get predictable. And predictable animals are easier to kill. The elephants begin to drink. The bull lowers his head into the muddy water. And in that moment, the poachers raise the rifle. But right as the barrel lines up, the lioness lunges. Not at the poachers. At a zebra near the water. The zebra screams and bolts. The herd panics. The elephants freeze and lift their heads. And the entire watering hole erupts into chaos. The poachers curse under their breath. Their perfect shot is ruined. And Dawson makes his move. He signals the team forward. They push their truck quietly along the brush line. Lights off. Engine low. They get close enough now to see the men clearly, three of them. One taller than the rest. One holding the rifle. One holding a sack. Then Dawson steps out and shouts, "Rangers, drop the weapon." The poachers don't drop anything. They run. The rifle fires once into the air, pure intimidation. Animals stampede again. Birds explode from trees. Dawson's men chase into the brush. And suddenly the calm of the dry season night becomes a full criminal pursuit. Branches whip faces. Dust blinds eyes. Dawson hears footsteps ahead. Then a metallic clink. He stops. Too late. A second trap. Not a snare. A hidden pit, covered with sticks and grass. One of the rangers falls in with a hard scream. Dawson spins around, heart pounding. Because now the criminals aren't just hunting animals. They're hunting the people who protect them. And in the darkness, the poachers vanish. Leaving behind only the pit trap and a single item dropped in the dirt. A small radio, tuned to the ranger frequency. Dawson stares at it. His blood runs cold. Because it means one thing. The poachers have been listening to them the whole time. And the dry season hasn't even reached its worst yet. Dawson stands over the dropped radio like it's a snake that could bite again. The little device is dusty, scratched, cheap. But what it carries is priceless. The ranger frequency. The same channel Dawson uses to warn his team about danger. The same channel they use to call for help. Dawson slowly turns the volume knob. A faint hiss fills the air. Then a voice crackles through, soft, distant. Ranger voice, radio. Unit 2, report. Unit 2. Dawson snaps the radio off. His eyes lock onto his men. Nobody speaks. Because now the danger feels bigger than poachers in the bush. Now it feels like a planned crime. A real operation. The injured ranger is pulled out of the pit trap, groaning and bleeding from his arm. Another ranger wraps the wound tight with cloth. Dawson looks at the black hole in the ground, the pit trap covered in sticks. This wasn't made in 1 hour. This took time, which means the poachers didn't just walk into the reserve. They prepared. They knew the animal paths. They knew the ranger patrol route. And worst of all, they knew what time Dawson would arrive. Dawson's voice drops to a whisper. Dawson, they're listening to us, which means they're ahead of us. The team loads back into the truck. No sirens. No lights. Just the engine breathing softly as they roll away from the watering hole. Behind them, the moon watches everything. And deep in the bush, hyenas laugh like they've heard this story before. Back at the ranger outpost, the mood turns quiet, but not safe. The outpost is small, just a few buildings made of brick and metal sheet roofs. A fence surrounds it, but it's more for animals than people. Inside the main room, a single fan spins slowly, barely fighting the heat. Dawson places the stolen radio on the table like evidence in a courtroom. His team gathers around. One ranger, younger than the rest, speaks up. Young ranger, so what now? They're in the bush. We can't find them. Dawson doesn't answer right away. He looks at the map pinned to the wall. On it, the watering hole is circled in red marker. That circle feels like a countdown clock. Because the dry season is getting worse. Tomorrow, more animals will arrive. And so will the criminals. Dawson finally speaks. Dawson, we don't chase them again in the dark. We watch. We wait. And we cut them off. He pulls out a notebook. Then he writes down one question. How did they get our frequency? He knows the answer could ruin everything. Because there are only two ways poachers get ranger radio channels. They bought a scanner and listened until they found it. Someone gave it to them. If it's option 2, then the crime isn't only in the bush. It's inside the system. The dry season's pressure cooker narrator. By morning, the heat is brutal. The sun rises fast and hard, like someone turned on a giant stove. At the watering hole, the mud is lower than yesterday. Animals arrive earlier than usual. Even the birds look desperate. A group of elephants stands shoulder to shoulder in the water, spraying themselves with mud like armor. Nearby, buffalo glare at lions from across the open ground. It's quiet, but tense. In the dry season, nature becomes a prison yard. Everyone is watching everyone else. Waiting for weakness. Waiting for an opening. And like any prison yard, there are gangs. The lions own the tall grass. The crocodiles own the deep mud. The hyenas patrol the edges like thieves, hoping to steal what they didn't earn. But now there's a new gang moving through the area, the poachers. And unlike animals, poachers don't follow rules of survival. They follow rules of profit. Dawson's first move, bait narrator, tight Dawson changes strategy. Instead of patrolling wide areas, he focuses on the one place criminals cannot resist. The watering hole. He assigns 2 rangers to hide in a watch position, a small hill with thick brush. They bring binoculars, cameras, a notebook. They do not bring fear. They bring patience. As the day drags on, the rangers watch the path leading into the watering hole. They write down every footprint, every broken branch, every tire mark. Then, near late afternoon, a vehicle appears. Not the same pickup from last night. This one is older, with a dented hood. It stops far back, hidden behind trees. 2 men step out. No masks. No uniforms. But they move like they belong to crime. They scan the ground like they're searching for something. Then one of them pulls out a small object. A shiny tag. The ranger zooms in with binoculars. It's not food. Not medicine. It's something worse. A wire coil. Snares. The man kneels and begins setting traps. 1, 2, 3, like he's planting landmines. The rangers hold their breath. They can't shoot. They can't yell. Because if they scare them off, the bigger group stays hidden. They need the leader. They need the whole network. Because this isn't just hunting, this is organized wildlife crime. The elephant calf narrator, slower, emotional as the men finish placing snares, the animals approach. A zebra steps near the trail, then stops. It senses something. It backs away. But a baby elephant doesn't know what a snare is. The calf walks playfully, swinging its trunk, staying close to its mother's legs. Then it takes one wrong step. The wire loop snaps tight around its ankle. The calf yelps. Not loud, but sharp. The mother elephant freezes instantly. Her eyes shift down. She sees the wire. She pulls at it with her trunk, but the snare bites deeper. The calf panics. It tries to run, and the wire cuts like a knife. The calf screams now. A full scream. A sound that turns the whole watering hole silent. Even predators stop moving. The mother bellows. It's not just a cry. It's a threat. She charges forward, ripping grass and dirt. The snare line jerks. It's tied to a hidden stake in the ground. The calf can't escape. And in that moment, Dawson's rangers realize something terrifying. This snare wasn't meant for a zebra. It wasn't meant for an antelope. This was meant for an elephant. For bigger profit. Bigger crime. The turning point. The poachers return narrator. Urgent, the two men who set the snares don't run away. They smile. Because they know what happens next. Snares don't just trap animals. They trap time. The longer the animal struggles, the weaker it becomes. The more likely it collapses. And when it collapses, the poachers return with weapons. Sure enough, the rangers spot movement in the trees. More men. For 5, maybe 6. They spread out. One carries a rifle with a long barrel. Another carries a large sack, like the one from the night before. They are calm, almost relaxed, like they've done this many times. And then Dawson, who is watching from another ridge, hears something through his earpiece. A whisper on the radio. Not from his team. A voice he doesn't recognize. Unknown voice. Radio whisper. Rangers are watching from the hill. Don't shoot yet. Move left. Dawson's heart slams against his ribs. Because it means the poachers are not only listening. They're talking back. They have a radio of their own. And someone is guiding them. Someone who knows ranger positions. Dawson's eyes widen. He looks across the terrain. Toward his hidden men. And then he sees it. One of the poachers quietly changing direction. Moving closer to the hill. Closer to where the rangers are hiding. The ambush narrator. Fast, cinematic. Dawson grabs his mic and whispers urgently. Dawson, radio move. Now. They know you're there. The hidden rangers tense up. They begin crawling backward through brush. Slow. Quiet. Careful. But it's too late. A twig snaps under a boot. One poacher whips around. His rifle rises. The world holds its breath. Then bang. A gunshot explodes across the watering hole. Birds burst from trees. The elephants trumpet. The calf screams again. The rangers sprint. Dust erupts behind them. Another shot. Bang. A ranger stumbles. He falls hard. Dawson shouts into the radio. Dawson, contact. Contact. They're firing. Now the poachers are running too. Not away, but toward the fallen ranger. One of them reaches into his sack and pulls out something horrifying. A machete. Not to fight rangers, but to cut trophies. To cut evidence. To cut profit. Dawson's truck roars forward from the ridge like a beast. Engine screaming. Tires spinning dust. He's coming fast. But the distance is too far. The poachers reach the downed ranger first. And as Dawson races closer, the tallest poacher turns his head and shouts one sentence. Take him. He saw our faces. The words freeze the blood. Because now, this isn't only wildlife crime. This is kidnapping. A crime that crosses the line from poaching to human hunting. And in the middle of Africa's dry season, a ranger becomes prey. Narrator, low, haunting. Dawson slams the brakes, jumps out, and watches helplessly as the criminals drag the ranger into the bush, vanishing into tall grass like they were never there. In Africa's dry season, the land doesn't warn you. It doesn't shout. It simply takes. Water disappears. Rules collapse. And the line between hunter and hunted fades away. What began as a fight to protect wildlife has now turned into something darker, more dangerous, and far more personal. A ranger is missing. Criminals are inside the system. And the dry season is only tightening its grip. This story isn't over. Not even close. If you want to know what happens next, how far the rangers are willing to go, and what the criminals will do to protect their secrets, make sure you stay with us. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter. And most importantly, share this story with someone who needs to see what really happens when the dry season arrives. Because in the wild, silence is never safe.